The sun is high in the sky, at its zenith, when we leave the building. Lots of volunteers are distributing drinks and attending to the audience. They seem to be even more diverse in age now. Probably because of the happy atmosphere. Luz walks around enthusiastically, bring me up to speed on everything that's happened to her these past few weeks, mostly Tessa's and her future. I nod and give her short answers from time to time. Once we reach the field, she goes to look for Ziva. I'm pretty sure that Luz is one of the largest point scorer from the shooter survival competition. Then one of the volunteers comes over to me and offers me a bottle of water so cold that it's obvious she made sure not to take it out of the freezer until just now. Congratulations on surviving through that competition, Kier, although it seemed to be luck more than anything. I see you're as direct and brutally honest as ever, Claire. Telling the truth is one of my strong points. Claire tilts her head and smiles. It quickly flashes a sad expression across her face that I'm sure only I notice. It might have been thanks to Oz and Denise that I managed to get past the first 2 rounds, but I think I had too difficult a handicap in the 3rd round. I don't consider myself to be lucky in that regard. In any case, I think what Denise did was unnecessary. We could have kept going together if things had been a bit different. Denise. That guy isn't normal. He'll never change. Claire seems to grow reluctant whenever his name comes up. She sighs, thinking about what she should say. Anyone else would have betrayed you in his position. The game was clearly begging for something like that to happen. It was a spark meant to defy the predictable and boring. But that's exactly Denise's problem. He's too kind. What would usually be a compliment sounds like a harsh criticism from the way that Claire puts it. If I didn't know any better, Denise would be I don't know, like an ex-boyfriend? That would be weird. You can't trust him, you know. He always says yes to everything. He's so good-natured. What is he thinking? What makes him act the way he does? Oh, he sounds like a protagonist, a visual novel protagonist, someone whose the defining trait is being kind, and therefore all the girls or whatever hang around him. I don't know. He might seem like a perfect friend at first, someone you can keep close to you, but you can't trust someone like him. In a relationship between 2 people, no matter which type, there must be a balance where the 2 parties grow together. A relationship so unbalanced doesn't have any legs to stand on, even if the purity of his facade is real. No one will be able to live the guilt of their mistakes being contrasted by his altruism. I remain perplexed as I listen to Claire, not because of her strong opinion of Denise, but because this is the first time I've heard her criticize someone like this. I knew that something had happened between the 2 of them in the past. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I didn't think I'd hear her ranting about him behind his back. It's not behind his back. He knows perfectly well my opinion of him. Were you reading my mind? I don't know why you're surprised. I've told you many times that you can't keep secrets from me. And that's true, or at least I believe her now. After all this time, Claire has always nailed it when it comes to me. But forget about that. They're just tales of the past. Now, even if I try, I can't get angry about it. But no matter what happens, I'm happy because you're here today. So forget everything I've said here. Claire's pure, innocent smile reflects her authenticity. It leaves me thinking, and I realize that I'm always the one who asks her to open up to me. She's the one that talks about her feelings and opinions without restraint. There's still some times when it's frightening, but it's gotten more and more obvious that her words are always sincere. As a consequence, I feel like I should open up to her as well. Hey Claire, there's something I want to... Edion, have you seen Oz? I've been looking for him everywhere and he isn't answering when I whistle to him. Ziva walks up to me with Luce in tow, inconsiderately interrupting Claire and I, even though she's more interested in playing with her phone than listening to me. Seriously, is today National Interrupt Kieran Day and I wasn't informed? I haven't seen him, nor do I care. Since when have you called him by whistling? Is he a dog now or something? No, a dog? I never treat him like that. Sorry, I meant your dog, not a dog. Then yes. Listen, Care, can you believe that in the end the prize goes to the MVP of the game, but only if they belong to the winning school? If I'd known that, then I wouldn't have killed off my teammates. All that effort was totally wasted if my school loses in the end. The MVP? And who decides who gets that title? Me, obviously. Nepotism in its purest form, I see. I'd complain, but I still don't know what the prize is. You really don't know? I thought you were stalling when you asked me during the competition. Not everything I say is a lie. Sometimes my intentions are honest. Mine are too, but I doubt you realize that. The tone of Lucy's last sentence is filled with annoyance. She lowers one of her arms to her hips and swings them back and forth. You're asking what the prize is, Idiot? The prize is what you fought for, the motivations that brought you here, and what you want to show the world, therefore to yourself. What happens today is a canvas on which to paint what you wish to become. It's a challenge that will decide your fate, and a great memory we'll all share no matter what happens. No, but seriously. Jeez, you could have at least gone with it a little. I want this event to be important and memorable. If you tell me that the prize is the power of friendship, I'll believe you. For real? No. I don't know why I even try. In any case, I'll tell you, it was really hard to procure, so you probably won't believe me, but the prize is... Zzz. The PA system suddenly activates and sets off an annoying sound that makes everyone around us raise their heads. By the way, I should mark National Interrupt Kieran Day on the calendar so that I can kill myself before it happens again next year. What are you doing here? A familiar voice resounds from the field. I look at Ziva, wondering if this was another one of her plans. From her face, I deduce that she knows as little as I do. I can't... who's saying this? I can't wait any longer, Oz. Is this, James, maybe? Or... I don't know. A second female voice can be heard, although it's more distant than the first. Oz? Don't tell me that he's in the control booth. What is he doing? Yeah, something to do with Oz? I was thinking James, or... I don't know, the person he met before? I don't know. Although Ziva prepared it so that she's able to use the PA system from the field, everything is connected in the control room. It's still possible to use a microphone to speak from there if you know which buttons to press. Or, in this case, not to press, I fear. That Oz, he must be the only person who can get lost in his own school after having attended it for so long. But who's with him? Think about what you're doing. I may technically be a graduate already, but you were my teacher not too long ago, even if it was only for a bit. Or is it the substitute teacher? Ziva and I look at each other with wide, shocked eyes. It's the substitute teacher. Ziva has to explain it to Luce and Claire since they aren't in our class. Everyone else, including the students that are standing around the field, appear to all be in complete disbelief. I can hear whispers all over the place. Oz's infamy, especially when it comes to women, and his womanizing ways are pretty well known. Now I think I understand why this teacher would punish him longer than me. Oh. I already told you that what happened your first day here was an act we came up with, a joke. I'd feel bad if you misunderstood. Holy cow, I didn't know you could do that with a bra. The temperature in there must be getting pretty hot, or so it seems. Shouldn't we intervene for the good of those we suspect are involved in the graduation? Record everything. If we're lucky, it'll go viral. It'll be all in the local newspapers. Get your priorities straight, woman. What are you doing to my hero? Take your hands off him. Oh, I think, yeah, James and the substitute teacher are in the control room now. A third voice joins the fray, although I can't tell if it's male or female one this time. Your name with J that isn't Jennifer from before. I told you it was a misunderstanding. I don't care what you thought, Oz. What I felt in that moment was real. We're destined to live for one another, and I can prove it to you. Hey, I don't play for that team. Cover that destiny of yours right now. Isn't the situation getting worse by the second? It must be a karma thing. We're watching the fruits of the life he has sowed until now come to fruition. Alright, the internet's gonna explode when we upload this. I'll be able to live off of this for the rest of my life. Gotta get that ad revenue. Smash that like button. No way, you're gonna make it worse. Why are you resisting us? Don't you think I'm attractive? Am I not good enough for you to compare to all of the other girls you've been with? It's complicated. I don't think this is the right time. Why can't you give me an answer, Oz? What do you need to accept me? Nothing, but you need to put on clothes, and fast. In a special situation like this, I can't help but look around at all the laughing faces of the nearby people, finding humor in Oz's pretty messed up life. I don't know. I think it's a pretty... well, I guess it's a pretty embarrassing situation. When individuals think, they always end up criticizing the mentality of the masses and the personalities of the sheep like they think they're different. But that's not true. Everyone has a moment in their life where they feel unattached from the masses because what goes through their mind is different from what they actually do in real life. Personality is what's created behind the sheep's skin. Everyone pretends to be same as everyone else in order to join in on the always powerful group mentality. The first rule of survival is that, even on a social level, we all have to live through moments where we're forced into wearing that skin, even if we don't want to. The moment someone decides to stand out, when they become special, they're no different than a class clown who decides to take on a ridiculous facade to make everyone laugh. There's no problem in deciding to become a different person, in reaching our ideals. Society doesn't reject those individuals. In fact, I dare say they admire them. Who society rejects are liars, at least those who are caught with their hands in the cookie jar anyways. The way class clowns act, the line that divides when people are laughing with you or at you is thin. The class clown isn't always a clown though. It's the same as when one person acts differently in two situations. If their expectations are met, they will all repudiate you. Why? Repudiate you. I never said that word out loud before. If you decide to change yourselves each day, you will be attacked. So the issue isn't having a personality, but keeping that personality consistent so that you can assuage the fears that a confused society feels, and as a consequence, we also feel. Maybe that's why excuses like parties and alcohol are convenient ways to free ourselves from our inhibitions. Are you just thinking all of this in your head while Oz is having love troubles? Because if you have nothing... stop right now. All those rumors about me are false, okay? It's just what people expect of me. But the truth is that I'm a virgin. The loudspeakers buzz again with another annoying noise. Anyone recording an aerial video of the school right now will surely believe that we're a flash mob where half of the members instead decide to freeze up during the dance. It takes them a moment for them to react, and start laughing. What kind of show did you put on this time, guys? I heard about you guys enacting all kinds of weird situations, but I didn't expect one to happen during graduation. I don't know when you planned this, Edian, but good job. Yeah, sure, good work, I guess. The perk of being a class clown is that if people get used to your jokes and lies, everyone will be expecting them from you. And in reality, people don't reject liars or those who stand out as long as that's what they have to come to expect from them, even if it isn't intentional. Well, I mean, it's not a surprise. Oss's womanizing ways or whatever is probably not very effective in reality, which is duh. Anyway, I'll do it. What are you saying? You said it's a relay race, right? If the team's good, I may be able to help out somehow. But you have to make an effort and interact with other human beings, you know, humans. It's not like I'm going to marry them. I just have to carry a baton. How well I run depends entirely on myself, though. Okay, now tell me the truth. Which bet did you lose? How much money was involved? None. Who do you think I am? Ziva and the other two girls look at me with distrusting eyes. Well, I must admit that this is unusual for me, but I'm ready to go. Isn't the prize discovering what I want to show the world? The challenge that will decide my fate and all of that? Ziva sighs with a smile on her face. Alright, I'll sign you up in Oss's place. Thank you very much, Evian. The boss returns to her post, takes out her cell phone, and resumes her endless array of tasks. Maybe she came over to us for that short amount of time to get away from her work and recover her energy, or maybe she considered checking up on us as a duty that was assigned to her. In any case, Ziva always seems to be well informed, and the reluctant attitude that she's shown me during this past month seems to be gone now. When I turn around, I find Luz and Claire making obviously uncertain faces. Kier, it's not that I want to meddle in your business, but are you gonna be alright? You know? Luz's eyes drift towards my right leg for a second, while Claire remains silent with a solemn look on her face. I remind them that I prefer they not treat me differently or concern themselves because of it. I try to make light of the situation. Okay, whatever. It's not like... Okay, whatever. It's not like I care anyways. You know that my curiosity is more important to me than your opinion, you schmuck. I find your sudden disposition pretty weird. If I knew this was gonna happen, I would also sign up to make you bite the dust. It's a pity that I won't be able to participate. Luz folds her arms, complains, and leaves. Over time, I've gotten used to her unusual behavior. Even if she doesn't recognize it herself, I know that's her way of showing concern. She could at least treat everyone, not just me, like that. Time hasn't helped to reduce the aggression that woman has for me, unfortunately. Lastly, Claire remains in front of me, lost in thought. Noticing that the race is about to start at any second, I try to bid her farewell casually, but she stops me. Here. I watch her for a few seconds, unable to figure out what she wants to say. Break a leg. A breeze blows past the two of us. Did I hear that correctly? She says something so insane that I can't help but laugh. Isn't what they say in show business? Why are you laughing? Watching me laugh is contagious, which causes her to laugh as well. We get to the point that our eyes start to water up. Jesus Christ, Claire. You're crazy. Way too crazy. But I guess it's not too bad to see the humor in it from time to time, no matter what happens. Claire buries her face under her hat, still giggling. I think I can see her jaw move a little as if she's saying something, but I'm unable to hear any sound, so I decide not to overthink it. Well, goodbye, Claire. She brings up her hand to her chest and waves at me. I do the same for her. I know I'm leaving some things unresolved, but somehow I feel like it's unnecessary to tell her in the first place. How odd is that, I wonder? This may only be a race. However, well, it doesn't matter. The race starts. I watch the guys whose names I can only barely remember run with all their might. Meanwhile, I'm taking it easy since I'm the third to go. I don't have the pressure of being last, nor the responsibility of being first. It's kind of advantageous. With that in mind, I can only focus on running and only running. Here, where everything is taking place, there's a totally different atmosphere. During the survival competition, we were so isolated so I couldn't hear the enthusiastic cheers or screams of the audience in the stands. Come on, it's just another contest at an improvised sports festival. Why is everyone suddenly so passionate anyways? And I was also wondering that this is sort of like a sports festival. I don't know, because, well, I'm a weeb, and the only context I've seen a sports festival at least in the school, is in like Japan. I don't know, do any other countries do sports festivals? My school never did. So like, isn't it a little weird? Because I don't think that this is not Japan, so I don't know. Well, I'm pretty ignorant, right? So I don't know. The second runner takes a baton and flies away like a bat straight out of out of hell. At this pace, our team can win. Now it's my turn to get ready. No one cared when we, the 6 committee idiots, wasted our time trying to organize all this. I'm not actually complaining. Our work went towards making it so that everyone could enjoy this event. It could be interpreted as our way of showing appreciation for all the moments these people have given us, despite their intentions. Is that all? Can I make up an excuse like that and be okay with it? Just because something's convenient doesn't mean that's true. In fact, it's usually the opposite. With so many people surrounding me, both friends and foes, acquaintances and strangers, people I'll never meet again, and authoritarian figures that affect my future, what do I know about what I stand to lose or gain from all this? That's the real reason I decided to participate. Running is a solitary activity, separate from the outside world. It's something I have to do myself. Several minutes where the entire universe as I know will cease to exist. I prepare myself, and when I see my teammate approaching me, I start running. I feel the cylindrical object between my fingers and grasp it. The second its previous holder releases it, there's nothing else. It's the track, the baton, and I. Speed lines! I start with a considerable advantage, putting me in the lead. I try to maintain it as long as possible. My performance is surreal considering my body type, but not good enough to handle the threat that begins to encroach upon me. An unknown man catches up to me. His hectic but incessant breathing is all the proof I need to know that he's serious about this. It'll only be a matter of seconds before he overtakes me. That doesn't affect my pace or efforts. At no point do I have my intention, or do I have any intention, of confronting him. Running is a fight against oneself. It doesn't matter who you're running against or why you're doing it. In the end, your mind is the only obstacle that stands between you and the finish line. If your legs are carrying 3 times their normal weight as you run, your mind confronts that pressure, its influence increasing exponentially for every second that you decide not to give up. The reasons each person has to justify their overextension changes between each situation and person. Still, all it requires is the determination to surpass your limits. What other reason do I have to strain my lungs? What other reason do I have to cover myself in sweat? What about the terrible stench coming from my armpits? The pain jolting through my legs with each step? I look at my surroundings and see observers in the stands cheering for their friends. The inexperienced MCs talk excitedly about the battle we're having on the track. You know, I always thought MC was like literally just MC as in the acronym, but I guess it's spelled that way. I never knew that. Or maybe I didn't know this. I feel like I read that before, like MCs read like that. Anyway. Everything is like an imitation of a tournament or sports festival. It feels fictional, engineered towards stories of friendship and history. The thrills passed along from one to another. It creates these types of necessary memories that function as the motivation for the race we all have with our lives. We need society to understand us. It's a retroactive relationship where we choose our identity to search out our purpose in society, even when our very purpose is a lack of one. The sham in human relationships lies within how we forge them solely for our own gain. It's an interest that's defining our egos and is as necessary as the blood within us. We're getting more internal philosophy in Kieran's internal monologue. Once again. Once we choose our role and decide what our aspirations are, we blame the rest of the world when it doesn't grant us our dreams. We become victims of ill-defined terms like culture, nation, or even humanity, so that we don't have to accept our responsibility of our actions. But there's nothing wrong with that either. It means that we're truly free after all. Free to understand and misunderstand. Free to offend and be offended. Free to deceive and be deceived. Free to run and stand still. Free to be selfish. It's precisely because everyone is looking for their own path that each relationship is genuine in its own way. We usually just tend to look at it from the wrong angle. That's why everyone tries to create their own space, their own reflection in a society where their freedom is the norm, ignoring what preceded it and what's around them. We sacrifice that very freedom to create a place that's somewhere between reality and fiction, a festival that imitates those indemonstrable ideals, making the impossible possible, a perfect world, a utopia, a fairy tale. He's thinking all of this while he's running. But fairy tales don't really exist, nor was this event created for noble reasons. Entirely innocent relationships and ideals beyond belief cannot exist in our world. Only in our lives can we find common ground. We paint our own lives as we wish, and those around us we paint with bright pink colors. Or red, if you're conscious of everything, if you can see through all of your actions and become the biggest liar of them all. The pace of my stride slows down. Faster, faster, faster. With each step, I manage to close the distance between us. With each step, I filter out the fatigue and mental weakness inside me. We're nose to nose now. My strength is superior and my determination has no limit. I can feel it extending throughout my skin and hand, and somehow I managed to pass the baton on. I pass the object and watch the last member of my team run. He's the star. Everyone's cheering for him, as they should. A switch goes off in my head and I start cheering too. I know that we can win. No, that we will win. He crosses the finish line. It's our victory. There are people jumping up and down and hugging. The rest of the crowd and our friends come to join us. But this is only the beginning. There's still more hurdles to pass and times to have fun, more trials where we'll relive these feelings. Winning against all odds, enjoying our youth, creating bonds that will last forever and ever. What does it matter if I don't know what the prize is? It has never mattered to me. I've already won by being here. Literally, that was the power of friendship. Oh wait, no. Sorry. That was actually a lie. Oh. I hear a metallic sound near my right leg. It stops me from running as I stumble and limp, unsure what's going on. I look towards my feet. There are small metal links that create a chain, and the contraption is bound around my right ankle by a shackle. Where the chain reaches, I don't know. It's so long that it seems to be lost in the crowd. Apparently, no one else realizes it's there. I try to take another step, but the chain keeps pulling against my foot. I try again at full strength, but it's no use. All that gives in are my bones, creaking as they try to escape from their joints. I fall on the ground and listen to the sound of the other runners passing me, leaving me behind. My vision dulls. I can't tell if I'm going in the right direction. Even after that, I still try to move my body, even if it only causes my leg to break. I can't do anything. I can't win. I can't see. The light is gone and darkness descends upon me. My name echoes like a hammer that's tapping against my head. The voices don't stop calling me. Everyone asks what's going on, how I am, what's going to happen. Well, I can't answer to any of them. I can't move. If I could answer them, there's only one sentence I wouldn't be able to stop repeating. I lost. Well, I don't know why you pushed yourself, Kieran. I guess pride? Stubbornness? You know, ignoring the fact that you do have an injury on your right leg, I guess. I blink. My first thought is that I'm at home, in my bed, waking up like any other morning. I hear a whisper through the wall, and voices discussing something incomprehensible. Next to me, there's a girl, sitting. No, this isn't my room. This is the nurse's office. Good morning, Kier. Well, good afternoon. Might be more accurate right now, though. In seconds, everything comes rushing back to me. My initial reaction is to bring my hands to my face and rub my eyes. Claire suggests that I should go back to sleep, but I shake my head and sit up. It's best that I get a hold of the situation as soon as possible. What a mess I made, huh? She nods with a calm demeanor that somehow gives me a peace of mind. Everyone was really worried about you, so at first everything was a bit chaotic. Still, everything went smoothly thanks to Denise and Oz. They're holding down the fort. The other two ladies, however... Claire points behind her with her thumb in the direction of the door. Straining my ears, I'm able to distinguish the unceasing alarmed whispers coming from behind the wall. Are you leaving already? Don't you think we should do something first? You heard what the doctor said, and I can't leave the event unattended like this for any longer. But that doesn't make any sense. Do you know something I don't? I'm not the one who should answer that. They're behaving well now, but you should have seen how they were earlier. At least they had the sense to leave the room so they wouldn't bother you. I guess I have to go give them an explanation. What you should do is sleep, Kier. The rest can wait. Claire stands up, trying to make the least noise possible. We will all get angry if you go and do something that you'll regret later. Knowing that you're all better is all I need to know. Don't be in such a rush and go to sleep. She says goodbye, but doesn't leave until she takes one last long look at me. Even though I can sense that she's in a good mood from seeing me doing so well, I'm unable to bring myself to her gaze. I sigh, tiredly, thinking about how I should handle the situation from this point forward. Although the door slowly closes as Claire leaves, it impetuously opens again and Luz flies inside. Are you awake? Hi Luz, I'm sorry for... Hey! Her first reaction upon seeing me is to pull the sheets off my bed all of a sudden. She takes off her shoes and jumps on the other side of the bed, falling on her knees and grabs my ankles and lifts my right leg up to my knee. I'm startled and react late. My first reaction is to protect my private parts. She brings her face up to mine with a serious expression on it. What is this? A leg. They're usually connected to the waist. This is probably the worst joke attempt I've made in my entire life. Of course, it doesn't work. How did you get this scar? And why did you lose consciousness from before? The scar is real, it's just that the smoke doesn't always lead you to the fire, if you know what I mean. Luz frowns as she tries to figure out the meaning behind my words. She frees my leg and folds her arms, awaiting a better explanation. My leg's healed, Luz. It's no different than yours or anyone else's. Now that's what I don't understand. When I examined you, they said there weren't any problems with your leg. There was just a scar. Then what happened out there? You fell unconscious for no reason? You expect me to believe that? Somatic symptom disorder. What? It's not my leg that has any issues, it's my mind. Somatic symptom disorder is a mental condition in which you feel the same pain you would have from a physical wound, but without the physical wound actually existing at all. For example, it's similar to a phantom pregnancy or mass hysteria. Those inflicted by them have symptoms, but they aren't actually experiencing what they believe. Of course, I'm not waiting for an imaginary baby, nor do I think I have cancer just because some people won't stop talking about it on TV. I feel the same pain I would if my leg had been crushed and demolished under a huge force or weight. Imagine feeling that pain every day, every hour, every second, for the past 7 years. My mental condition determines how much it hurts at any given moment, In that sense, I can do the same physical activities as anyone else, but it hurts as if I'm in hell itself. Lucy's jaw is on the ground and she listens to me, unable to react any other way. She looks away and I hear her whisper quietly. 7 years ago, that was the library incident. I nod without offering her any further explanation. I can almost hear the clockworks move in Lucy's brain now that she knows about my condition. One after another, she starts asking me tons of questions to confirm her suspicions. Well, that explains why you can play basketball and survival game fine. Depends on what you're thinking, doesn't it? Yeah, more or less. And you don't like talking about it because you're embarrassed that it isn't a real injury, but something that's completely in your mind. Well, my personal experiences have taught me that people don't accept others who are considered crazy, you know? It's easier to not give explanations and endure it. You run away sometimes because it's hard for you to talk about your condition. Like at the arcade or after what happened in the pool on your birthday. Luz blushes a little as she remembers that day and immediately changes the subject. There's no treatment for it? I mean, well, you must have tried everything by now. There are painkillers, but, you grow to be dependent on them, so it's best not to rely too much on those. Not too long ago, I switched to a more natural alternative, but I guess it wasn't enough for what I have. A cringe-worthy laugh accompanies my last sentence, but disappears several seconds later while I scratch my neck embarrassedly. I can't handle Lucy's eyes being so fixated on me from the other side of the bed. This has happened with everyone. It's normal to be polite to someone who suffered an accident and tried not to reopen their old wounds. But how do you act around someone whose wounds are all inside their mind? What can you say to someone whose pain is buried deep inside of their psyche? Everyone starts treating you differently unconsciously. Their good intentions end up destroying what actually makes humans interesting as individuals. I don't want to live a life where everyone has to worry about every word they say as they try not to hurt me. Without freedom, they cease to be themselves. And what can I do about it? All I ever done was complain about the people who were only trying to help me. That's all. Luz, however, is like no one else in this entire world. Now, aren't we all a bit crazy in our own ways? The bed squeaks when Luz stands on top of it, proudly putting her hands on her waist. I have my own insecurities. I don't want people labeling me by a decision I made without being positive that was the right choice. But it didn't stop you from offering to show me your secret base. There, I drew until I was finally able to make a decision, and you know what? I'm still not sure what I want to do. But does it matter? Some will support me and others won't. Some will complain and others say that I'm reckless. Everyone must be right in their own way, but that's exactly what makes it interesting. Each person decides who they want to be and how to live their life, better or worse. It's okay to be an idiot from time to time. See, since you told me your issue, I've told you mine. Feeling any better yet? As I said before, two people can't become true friends until they share something they're embarrassed about. From my point of view, Luz looks tall, large, unreachable. Between the sight of her legs and the large presence surrounding her, I'm breathless. It's as if the entire world belongs to her. I give up. All I can do is let myself fall on the pillow. You can change your definition of friendship whenever it suits you, don't you? She laughs. Luz returns to the floor with a jump. She puts her shoes back on and places a finger on her chin as she thinks. Now that I think about it, this illness of yours explains why you're always so grumpy with everyone. No, wait. The schmuck blood just flows within you. Why'd you dismiss that possibility so fast? In any case, what do you want to do? Want to go back out there? They're all busy with work now, right now, so I guess I should go out and give them a hand. No, not yet. I would prefer not to overdo it. You just don't want to put in any effort. Tell me something I don't know, or tell me something I don't know. Although we share a moment of mutual understanding, it's followed by total silence. We begin speaking at the same time, unsure of what to say. It makes us smile, even though it's cringeworthy. Setting aside our reservations, we finally say goodbye. I'll see you later, alright? At graduation. Yeah, sure. Luz looks at me from the other side of the room and waves vigorously. It's totally positive reaction, the opposite of how she was when she got here. Tired, I pick up the sheets that Luz hadn't even bothered to give me back. After shaking the dirt off, I lay down on the bed again and sigh. I try to close my eyes, but no matter how tired I am, it's impossible. It's half because of the noise coming from outside, half because I feel like I'm missing something. I've moved my gaze to the small table beside me. There lies my ever-loyal notebook, with a pen sitting on it. I pick it up, rest my back against the headboard, open the book to a new page, and start writing. My hand moves naturally, as if it's moving of its own accord. Meanwhile, little by little, I feel more and more drowsy until finally, my eyelids drift closed. What should I do now? Can I really fall asleep at a time like this? I've already fulfilled my obligations and finished my studies and tests. Maybe everything that happened was building up, and that's why I need to sleep right now. Or rather, it's because of everything I've written until now. The story's been going on for too long. You're finally awake. When I open my eyes, the color of the walls has changed, and the noise outside seems to have quieted down. Sitting next to me is an old friend. Before I can say anything, he brings me up to speed on the day. You must be dying of starvation after skipping out on lunch. If you like, I can bring you some of the leftovers from the barbecue. He also missed out on the last competition. The other side won in the end, thanks to Luz's performance in the final battle. You'll freak out once you hear this. The truth is, since you've been here, she lost interest in playing. I don't know why, but all of a sudden she got motivated and managed to turn tables. It was crazy because in one trial, we'd be doing something normal like a sack race or that kind of thing, but then in the next, we would have to prepare for a bank robbery. Well, the bank was fake, of course. I hope, at least. In any case, I was a star of every competition, as you would expect. If I let Luz win first prize, it's because I'm a gentleman, as you already know. And now we're taking a break and cleaning up after all those events. All that's left now is to get our diplomas in the auditorium later on. If you feel better, you can come, but you have to eat quickly because they obviously won't let you bring food inside. I'm speaking from personal experience, obviously. Don't ask. This guy never seems to stop talking. Although I'm not completely awake yet and didn't really hear what he was saying, he was narrating everything so passionately that I feel as if I was there myself. When I get up, I notice that my notebook and pen are missing. They should have been on my chest since I fell asleep with them on top of my chest. Instead, they're on the small table that's next to me again. I probably had visitors other than Oz earlier, so I assumed that someone else must have moved them aside. That reminds me of something. I interrupt my friend, who's still narrating his adventures from today. I ask him a favor, something he should do as soon as the graduation ceremony is over. As you wish, compañero. I'll get in touch with her for you. In any case, forget it. Oz seems worried for a second. Since I'm the one asking for a favor, I can't complain, so I tell him that he doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to. No, it's not that. I don't mind. But it's weird that you're asking me for a favor. Don't look at me like that. I don't know how to react when you get serious like this. Even when you're angry, it still seems like you're somehow joking. For example, all day I've been answering questions about what happened in the control booth this morning, but it doesn't seem like you're curious about that at all. Sometimes I can't tell if you don't care at all or if it's the opposite and you care too much. Don't get me wrong though. I saw you make that exact same face during the first few days of my transfer to this school too. When you've lived all around the world, you have certain expectations. In the end,
You believe that you always have to play the role of the foreigner no matter what. You were the only one who didn't care about that. To be honest, I thought you were a delinquent, and that you were messing around to try to be the center of attention, but it wasn't like that. I realized something simple, that behind that role, there's a real person, someone who would do whatever he wanted at any given moment, whatever he felt was convenient. You made me view life in a different way. Instead of getting depressed and asking who I am or how I should behave, I started to happily wonder each morning who I would be for that day. And who cares if that doesn't fit into anybody's expectations, or if what I felt I was or wanted to be didn't make any sense? It doesn't matter how contradictory it actually is. The roles we played were fun, and truly was fun being friends with you all these years, compañero. Womanizer, class clown, bookworm, delinquent, narcissist. All we really want is a glimmer of happiness in our lives, something that gives us meaning and purpose. Or at least someone who will listen to us and give us a reason to enact whatever play we play that day, whichever role we play that day. Isn't that the kind of person you're looking for? I can't help but sigh as I listen to my friend's words. You know, Oz, being serious doesn't suit you at all. Who would have thought? He leaves shortly after. Some of his words are still going through my mind. Damn, Nos, you make it sound too much like a farewell. I guess he knows more than he seems to. After all, we were friends all this time, right? Is it really farewell? Is he going somewhere? Is Karen going somewhere? I don't know. The sound of my footsteps and the distant murmur of the occasional bird singing tells me that the day is finally about to come to an end. There's still vestiges of today's events everywhere. Now, under this dusk coppery light, they're merely fragments of memories that I'll never have the opportunity to experience. That time got dissolved instead in the dream and the short trip I made to pick up a thin folder that I now bring in my hands. The key event of the day, the graduation ceremony, has finally come. A long speech before giving us these pieces of paper that we've been fighting for forever. I think I was mistaken. I thought the events, the games, I guess, that the committee planned, I thought they were having a trial run, and I think I said that before, but I think actually this is the actual events that they played for the graduation ceremony. Or the graduation day. But anyway. But I didn't go. Once again, I was late. I rest my back against the wall of the hallway, listening to the graduation ceremony from afar since I don't want to interrupt it by entering. It's at this moment that I'm supposed to become an adult, but it's not as sweet to me as to my classmates since I'm not reliant on a diploma, but on a woman. Aren't you going in? Well, when I woke up, it was already too late. I don't want to bother anyone. I can pick it up another time. Ziva approaches me, not from the auditorium, but from one of the hallways. Her uneasy breathing and the bright red color on her skin make it clear that she's been looking for me until now. Now face to face, however, she doesn't know what to say. She nervously collapses her hands together. Oh, shouldn't you be inside? It's why you've been putting so much effort in lately. You know that's not true. Also, as the committee boss, I have to make sure that everything goes well from a distance. It's not my place to be under the spotlight. That includes checking the attendance. It's my responsibility. I should be punished if I'm late. That isn't at all what I meant, Kieran. She unintentionally raises her voice. Both of us look towards the auditorium for a minute, worried that someone might have heard us quarreling. Once everything seems fine, Ziva takes a calming, deep breath, and then takes me to a side while pulling my shirt. She guides me to an adjacent hallway in order to stifle our noise. Now hidden in a small gap behind the stairs, we resume our conversation. A conversation we should have had long time ago. in a galaxy far, far away. No. I wanted to say... I don't know what to say, Edian. Literally just grabbing my collar. Or my collar shirt, anyway. Again with the surname. Not calling me Kieran anymore. That's... Ziva's pupils grow. Even in the darkness, she tries to say something, but holds her tongue, forcing me to begin instead. Or forcing me to begin instead. How long has it been since you called me that? At least 7 years. Well, you also slipped up during that dramatic act we put on for the substitute teacher. That doesn't count. The meaning behind those words, you took me by surprise. She looks at her feet, kicking the floor for each word that she says. Everything we've been holding back, everything we couldn't say, we both knew that we'd eventually reach the end of this. Maybe that's why it's so hard. Can you speak, Kieran? Does it hurt more because it's me? It feels like there's a sword piercing through my calf. But I'll bear with it. I have to do this. Special treatment ends here. No more acting like nothing ever happened because you're worried about reopening old wounds. After all, it's my fault to begin with. Ziva gets angry and loses control of her volume again. That's not true. It's my fault. Always silent, I went along with anything. I let others make decisions for me. I acted like nothing really mattered, and I didn't realize how much it meant to me until I lost it. Since then, I swore that I would never let anyone make my decisions for me again. I'll never again burden myself with regrets. I promise that I'll heal you, Kieran. That's why I've put in so much effort. That's why I never stopped studying. Oh, okay, now I get it. That's why Kieran is her patient, quote unquote. Oh, it clicked in my head just now. And I haven't given up yet, Kieran. I think I still have a chance. I won't let you destroy everything with that terrible attitude of yours. It's difficult to look at her face. It's even difficult to stand still in front of her. But my words spill up from their weight. After saving them in my heart for so very long, all I need to do now is release them in the same way that I've rehearsed so many times. It's like you said, it's my attitude. There's nothing for you to regret. The problem is entirely in my head. No! Shut up already and stop trying to carry all of the blame alone. Mistakes happen. You can't pretend that everything's perfect. Perfect? A dry cackle rises in my throat when I hear that word. You criticize me when I try to score a perfect game at that arcade too. The only one of us here that's obsessed with perfection is you, Ziva. What's with this crap? When has this school ever seen a grad event of this magnitude? How can you compare aiming for perfection in a silly video game to your ideal of recreating the Earth into a fantasy world? You had everything planned since the beginning. Every step, every word. You naively believe that you can create a perfect world here when you know that no matter what you do, there's always a loser. You're acting like a child that's throwing a tantrum, Ziva. I pant as I speak. My vision clouds, and I'm unable to control my words. All I manage to see clearly are Ziva's lifeless words, as if something inside of her is slowly breaking apart, until it finally explodes. I'm done. I'm done, Kieran. I can't contain it any longer. Who do you think you are, speaking like that when you can barely stand up? Look at you. You're pale. 7 years. 7 fucking years and you're still the exact same. No, you're worse. What's your fucking issue? I'm done with having to beat around the bush with you for everything. Treating you like you're a fucking stranger. That's all we are after we've been through together. Everything with you is a bad joke. You can't take anything seriously, always using that shitty sarcastic tone of yours. I hate it. I hate it so much, and I hate you more. But don't let anyone bother that kid. He's sick, so be careful. And you dare tell me that I'm acting like a kid throwing a tantrum? Fuck you, Karen. Fuck you for real. Why would you accept my help, or anyone else's help? Keep your shitty ass opinions to yourself and try to be goddamn grateful for once. God damn it! It's a difficult situation for everyone, not just you. Don't you get it? Why? I hate you, Karen. I hate you. Her fists tap against my chest until she's tired. She grabs my shirt and buries her tearful face in it. A pathetic scene that displays what we've been avoiding all these past years. I move my arm and lean against the wall, and Ziva pulls herself along with me. The space between us becomes non-existent. I do understand, Ziva. And that's the exact reason I want you to forget about me. Her tearful eyes look up at me. Not because she's scared of being squished, but because she pities me. She pities me for not having the strength to push us apart. But it's my fault too. I guess I never really said everything I should have. She shakes her head, not wanting to listen. I want you to be free, Ziva. I'm sorry for not saying this before, for leaving you behind without cutting the ties that I created. I'm the one who started this, so I'm the one who has to end it. For that reason, Ziva, I want to break up. Nani? Wait, they were... Huh? Yes, I'm just surprised. They were together this whole time? I mean, I had a feeling it was something like that. Or I had a hunch that they had feelings for each other. You know, just like the other girls. But they were together this whole time. I didn't know that. What a twist! Sort of, you know? I feel her body shaking. Then she stands motionless. In the background, the auditorium's doors open and fill the hallways with the cheerful voices of those anticipating the biggest celebration of their lives. The noise it creates makes everything else go silent, our words forever lost between the cheers. A sadness that was hidden. A relationship that worked the opposite of how it should have. Everything we ever said was always the opposite of what we really thought. It's ironic how, once again, the sound of her sobbing is blanketed under the crowd's ruckus. It's as if it never happened in the first place. I walked away without looking back, climbing the stairs while slowly recovering my lost consciousness. I have to stop a couple of times along the way, inhale deeply, and wait until I'm confident that the pain has eased up. Somehow, I managed to reach the top floor. It's difficult for my sweaty hands to grasp the banister. If Oz did what he was supposed to, she should already be here. I stand in front of what is now my old classroom. It's still stripped down because of the mess we made this morning during the survival competition. From here, I can see her already, a lone girl peering out through the window in an empty and deserted classroom. I knock once on the door and enter the room while she turns around to welcome me. We're alone, she and I.